Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story is one that we have covered in the past, but there's now new updates to it with a final update as well. So if you do want to skip parts of the story, please feel free to do so. Timestamps are always down in the description and along the timeline below. Thank you. Now this story comes from Cold Bowl of Nothing, who says, in-laws are straining my marriage, but it's my fault apparently. First post, so bear with me. About a year ago, me, 28 female, and my husband, 30 male, allowed my brother-in-law, 19 male, to move in with us to get him out of a rough situation and to help him start adulting. This was about May of last year. I agreed to have him move in with the promise from brother-in-law and husband that it was only going to be a couple of months until brother-in-law found a roommate to move out with. He is also to pay some rent monthly, as he has a full-time job now, keep his area clean and help out around the house. Keep in mind I have 2 children under the age of 5 and also work, and I'm still the housekeeper, cleaning, cooking, food, etc., while my husband also works around 60 hours a week. Fast forward those couple of months, no luck on finding a roommate. Brother-in-law is still living with us. Okay, he's young. I'm just going to give him some more time to figure this out. I'm trying to be understanding and gracious, as I also had some help getting on my feet at this age. I confronted brother-in-law a few times asking, so how's the roommate search going? You found an apartment yet? Only to be answered with shrugs and I don't know. I will say at this point I'm starting to feel in the dark with what is actually going on. As in, is there even a plan of him moving out? Is he even looking for a roommate or an apartment? Husband says just give him more time and that he's working on it. Frustrated, it's Christmas time now and he's requesting to have his girlfriend of 2 years, who lives out of state, to move in too, with the promise that she has a job and they will move out in 1 month. I tell my husband that I'm not comfortable with it, as brother-in-law was not supposed to be here at this time in the first place. Husband says I'm overreacting and starts making comments of making me sound like I don't care about his family. Angry, I just shut down and keep my mouth shut to avoid the argument. My next mistake. Girlfriend moves in and, surprise surprise, doesn't have a job and claims she's been looking for one for 3 months now since living under my roof. Fast forward to now. Rent is not being paid anymore. The cleaning of their own areas has stopped and there has been absolutely no trying to find a way to move out of my home. I've quit asking brother-in-law questions to keep myself from being furious and directed the questions towards my husband. At this point, I'm done trusting that my husband has any plan or control in this whole situation, which is driving me insane. Anytime I bring it up to my husband, I'm met with hostility and accusations of just wanting to throw his family out on the street and that I shouldn't be upset with this because I agreed to it. Agreed to what? Yes, I agreed to brother-in-law moving in for a couple of months. Yes, I graciously gave him extra time to figure things out. At this point, I no longer feel comfortable in my own home, and every day me and my husband argue about it, which always turns into very ugly outcomes. We don't even sleep in the same bed anymore. I'm annoyed that I've been conned into taking on 2 grown adults while trying to raise my own family. I'm angry that I'm being made out to be the bad guy when all I wanted was to be helpful. I don't know what to do anymore. I guess my main question to the Reddit world is, am I the arsehole here because I let this all happen in the first place? I can't remember what I said the first time around on this one, but you're absolutely not the arsehole in this situation. I mean, the real problem is here is your husband, isn't it? He's prioritizing his brother's comfort over his own wife and his own family and their home stability. You don't care about my family, which is just manipulation, as always we see in these situations, when in fact you're his family. You and your kids should be the ones coming first. You've been more than gracious in this situation, and now you're being taken advantage of by 3 people. And then you're being gaslit into thinking that you're the problem when you rightly bring it up to him. Your comfort in your own home isn't optional, and your husband seems to have forgotten that you're his priority in this situation. But Commenter says, not the arsehole, but that sounds like a terrible situation, something you may not have considered. If the girlfriend or brother-in-law go the legal route, because they've been there that long, they could actually fight being evicted. Your husband is the arsehole in this case. Tell him he has to clean up their area, make their dinner, etc. Any food they eat should come out of his spending money. Icy Doctor says, you have a husband problem. Get into marriage counseling. Find alternate housing for you and the kids, now, if counseling doesn't work out. Take your kids and visit family or friends for a couple of weeks and let him sort it out with his brother, and then tell him the condition that you'll return home is when they are gone, or you won't return and you can divorce. Just jumping in again for a second though, but even from the brother-in-law and the girlfriend's perspective, I'd be embarrassed to be there and not contributing and freeloading for so long. I know we see arseholes in these stories all the time, but I don't get it. Background says, not the arsehole, your husband is for letting his brother stay and not making him abide by the terms of his agreement. He should be demanding that they find their own place and while they're there, handle the rent, the cleaning up, all of the things they're supposed to do. You shouldn't have folded on the girlfriend issue, but I understand how tiring it must have been for you to keep up arguing with your husband. You two need to go to a public place, restaurant, park, etc. and have a calm conversation. Write it all down if you need to. Set your boundaries. They need to be gone in 30 days and fill in the blank. And whatever the fill in the blank is, you need to do that thing. If it's I'm going to leave you, get my own place and file for a divorce. If it's I'm moving back home with my family of origin, if that's a possibility, or if I'm moving back with my best friend. Whatever you're and what is you follow through with, that no matter what, if they are not gone. Good luck, and I hate that your husband is being such an arsehole to you. And one more comment from Confused who says, not the arsehole. It doesn't sound like you really allowed this. You objected along the way and was ignored basically. What to do? Give your husband and brother-in-law a choice. One of them has to leave or you will. You have been more than patient, and now it is affecting everyone in the home. You could go on strike for all the things unrelated to caring for your kids. You can take your kids home to your parents' place maybe, to make a point that you will walk out. So Opie comes in with their first update. They gave a recap, which we won't cover because we've literally just read it. But it says, first, I would like to say thank you for all the different perspectives. Most of all the responses are said I should just kick all three of them out and say good riddance. I will say some of the responses gave me a good little laugh in this extremely frustrating situation, so thank you for that too. Taking everything into consideration, I gave my husband an ultimatum last night and I'm sticking to it. They need to be gone by June 1st, with all the rent paid according to how I laid it out, or else I'm moving out with the kids into an apartment. I'm also not cooking for them, just enough for me and the kids. All laundry detergents and toiletries will be kept in my closet, and internet passwords will be changed. Now before I get 2 months is too much time for them. Hear me out. This is also time for me to get my ducks in a row should I actually be moving out, which in theory I'll know by mid-May if they aren't moving out, if they don't have anything lined up by then. I really do doubt my husband is wanting this to actually happen, me and the kids moving out, but I wouldn't put it past him thinking that I'm bluffing. All in all, I would hope it doesn't have to come to that point. I'm happy to learn though, after sketching a quick budget, that I would be able to support me and both my children with my own income if worst came to worst. Thanks again. And many people in the comments below this one suspecting that the husband is thinking that Opie is bluffing in this situation, but Opie came in again and said, so here we are, getting really close to June 1st, and yes, they're still living in my house. Here's where things are getting grey for me. I need all the advice possible. I recently got diagnosed with stage 2 hypertension and working on getting that under control. I have chronic anxiety and experience rolling panic attacks that last up to a week, sometimes twice a year. Since my last post I had a 4-day episode, as well as a diagnosis. Doc says I'm far too young to have a diastolic pressure chilling at 97 and will be dead in 15 years if I don't make changes now. Since then I've been stepping back and focusing on me, getting healthy, losing weight, etc. With that said, my husband has been a lot nicer to me and helping out around the house so I can focus on myself and my kids. The constant shouting has basically stopped. Gaslighting is non-existent, and for once I feel confident about my future. Since the diagnosis, the energy in my house has completely changed, and what I feel may be for the better. Brother-in-law's girlfriend has gotten a full-time job at the end of last month and to my surprise has been sticking to it. Also, rent has been paid since me laying down the law back in March. They have picked up the cleaning routine, buying their own groceries, and actually seem to be doing well for themselves. Shoot, the girlfriend has even been helping me out with the kids if I seem too stressed. They are actively looking for apartments and attempting to move out, but it's looking like they are wanting to push out the June 1st deadline. Would I be showing myself as a doormat if I let them have a couple more weeks? Or is it my obligation to follow through with the deadline I gave in the beginning? I have a feeling my husband did have a lot to do with them getting their shit together, which I'm grateful for. Kinda sucks that I have to risk a stroke in order to get through to him though. That's another topic for a different day, I think. Opie comes in with a next morning update and says, I put my kids down for the night last night and I brought the deadline up to my husband again. I calmly asked, hey, June 1st is coming up. Any progress? No. Are you going to talk to them about it? No. Then he flipped. Really bad. Started yelling at me at the top of his lungs. I told him we had an agreement, and then he basically told me to hell with the agreement. I lost it, guys. I told him it's obvious he doesn't care about me or my feelings, and that he's welcome to leave with them too. He says, okay, tell me when you want me out. I told him June 1st was already the date. He shut down, stopped talking. He stormed out the door, said he wasn't going to fight about it tonight. I tried calling and messaging him. No response. He turned off his location. He came back late last night. Doesn't say a word. Wakes up this morning and then tries to small talk with me, like nothing happened. I ignored it all, not because I'm trying to be petty, but because I genuinely don't know how to process this. My oldest wakes up today and asks, why is Daddy not staying at our house anymore? So knowing that my 4-year-old heard all of this commotion is devastating me. So no conclusion said on the back of this one. Please don't let them stay for a couple more weeks because it won't be a couple more weeks. The reason they're all being nice now is because you got a health scare. Be honest with yourself and ask yourself if this change would have happened if you didn't need to focus on yourself more. Once you get better or see that you look better regardless of how you're truly feeling, they go back to their old ways. Stick to the June 1st deadline, and now you have even more reason, although you didn't need one before, to not want to have to deal with other people at home, where it should be your safe space to relax and not worry about whether they keep pretending to be nice or how long it's going to last. I hope you get better. I truly wish you all the best. Opie says thank you for the advice. I put an update in the post. Last night didn't go well at all. Looks like I may be a single mum now. Looking back, I definitely see where I was putting myself last to save the peace. But for what? My kids need me alive and happy. If anyone is going to be put first over myself, it's going to be my kids. Period. Point blank. Commodore says to OP, I doubt they're going to leave on June 1st. Do you have anywhere to go? Your parents? You should be ready to move if they don't. Opie says my parents are close in proximity to me, and they know everything that's going on, and are ready for me and my kids to move in at a moment's notice if needed. I'll be working on eviction notices, because the house is in my name. I know I said in previous posts that I was going to move out, but I decided it's not my place to leave this house. It's theirs. And the majority of the comments in this post were just saying to OP, get them out, do not give them any extra time, etc, etc. But OP came in with what they titled their final update and said, they are out. Moved out about a month ago. Life as I know is getting back to normal again. My husband got the message with the divorce papers. We have since been having way more open communication and have decided to hold off proceeding with divorce at the moment to see if there is anything worth saving in this relationship. I've since had some more health issues come up that I'm going through a couple of procedures for next week, and that has been my main focus for the last couple of weeks, hence the no reply for a while. I appreciate all the support and advice from everyone. I'm taking every day still here on this earth as a blessing, especially now that I have peace in my home and can sit back and breathe. I have also had the conversation with my husband about it if he actually cares enough about me to stay with me through my procedures / possible diagnosis, because I do not want to live what could be my possible last days with someone who isn't there physically, emotionally and mentally. He's taking off work next week to take care of me throughout it all, and I'm just going to go from there. And there was a mix of comments after this one. A lot of people saying well done to OP for laying down the law and, just saying this needs to happen and standing your ground. Other people saying, that husband deserves to be divorced. So disrespect towards you and your family and your home is crazy, and that Opie's health has taken a knock because of what he's been doing. But what do you guys make of this situation? I really truly hope that Opie recovers well, but what do you guys make of it? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from CalmAd6711 and says, am I the arsehole here for calling off my wedding after finding out my fiance never had the money he promised to contribute? I, 33 female, have been with my partner, 32 male, for 5 years. He proposed in March 2024 and we agreed to get married in December 2025. He promised to cover 70% of the wedding costs and said he'd transfer money to my account whenever I paid for something. I ended up handling all the planning and bookings. By April this year, I had already paid around 500k local currency, but when I checked, he hadn't sent me a single cent. I kept reminding him and he always said, yes baby, after work. I work in an accounting firm with over 40 clients, so I'm insanely busy and didn't have time to double check every day, but I trusted him. When we finally sat down to talk about it, I found out he didn't actually have the money. He planned to ask his parents or use future income, meaning he had been lying about having savings. All this time he bragged about being financially stable and successful. He's a lawyer, but apparently it was all talk. I understand that people can go through tough financial times, but lying about it and letting me carry all the burden, that felt like a betrayal. I decided to call off the wedding and the relationship. Now he's throwing the wedding expenses in my face, even though I did all the work. My parents think I should go through with it since the engagement has already been announced to family. No, am I the arsehole here for calling it off? I feel heartbroken, used, and honestly fooled. And seriously, if you can't afford to get married, why propose in the first place? Commenter says, I'd be asking what the hell he's spending his money on if he's a high-earning lawyer with no savings. Being Meryl says, you didn't call off a wedding, you cancelled a subscription to nonsense. Good for you. Opie says thanks, that honestly made me laugh and I needed to hear that. Rhea says calling off the wedding was a sensible and self-respecting decision. You deserve a partner who is honest and reliable, especially when it comes to finances. Artistic Tough 7764 says not the arsehole, but to be clear, this is about the lying and betrayal, not necessarily about the money. Opie says yeah. It's the dishonesty that broke me, not just the lack of money. If he had been upfront, things might have been different. So, OP did come in with that update. It was around 8 days later and said, hi everyone, thank you so much for the support. I didn't expect my post to get much attention, but reading your responses helped me feel less alone and more validated in what I was feeling. It's been a week since I called everything off. He's been texting and calling non-stop, flip-flopping between apologizing and guilt-tripping me. At one point he said, we can still fix this, it's just money. But it was never just about the money. It was the lying, the manipulation, the months of pretending to be someone he wasn't and letting me drown financially and emotionally while he played the role of the dependable fiancé. I'm staying with a close friend for now while I sort things out. I've cried more than I thought possible, but each day I feel a little lighter. The fog is lifting. His family finally reached out to me to mediate. His mum even asked if we could just scale down the wedding instead of cancelling it. I told them very calmly that there is no wedding to scale down. I'm done, and I mean it. I've also started to look through everything I paid for, checking which vendors I can cancel or get partial refunds from. It sucks, not gonna lie, but I'd rather lose money than lose myself in a marriage built on lies. My parents are slowly coming around. My dad said something last night that really hit me. It's better to disappoint people for a moment than to disappoint yourself for a lifetime. I don't know what comes next, but I know what I left behind and I know it was the right thing to do. Thank you so much again. You really helped me a lot. A couple of the top commenters said on this one, I'm glad your dad is in your corner and he is exactly right. I hope you'll be able to cut your losses as much as possible and get most of your money back. An expression says, and quotes, my parents are slowly coming around, and then says good, because this was the dumbest thing I've heard. My parents think I should go through with it since the engagement has already been announced to family. Affectionate Taste says, it's the lost cost fallacy. Absolutely. Could you imagine being the parents to OP, giving them that advice and being able to look at her in the face again? We want you to go through with your marriage so we don't disappoint other family members. I mean, for fuck's sake. And the last comment they're talking about lost cost fallacy is exactly it. And I think OP handled it perfectly. They saw the lie for what it was. As always, we see in this situation, basically a preview of married life, and thought, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out. The money and the financial planning was just like a symptom of it. What was really going on was that he was willing to deceive her, lied to her for over a year, for watching her stress and sacrifice. Saved herself from a lifetime of bullshit there, I think. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world. And if you want to hear some more Reddit stories with whatever you're up to right now, there'll be a couple of playlists at the very end of the video that you can click on, and will automatically scroll through all the videos for you. Nice, right? Thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care, you cheeky so-and-so. Much love.